Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Do you have a purpose, a vision, a goal, something that you love? It gets harder and harder to wake up in the morning and go to a job that you hate, or to stay in a marriage that is not full of love anymore. You must put your heart and soul into what you're doing. I was in a career for 39 years and it was starting to be really draining. And I started to go into works and said, this is simple, this is easy, this is fun. And my coworkers would laugh at me, but it raised my spirit. It raised my vibrational energy. It allowed me to stay there and continue working for a paycheck until I realized there was something more that I was meant to do. I had a calling, I had a feeling, I had an impulse. It was like God had been whispering to me, and I wasn't listening. I kept forcing myself to stay in a job that I was good at, but wasn't fulfilling anymore. And then I left and pursued a career following my heart. And I became a consultant with Bob Proctor and Sandy Gallagher and learned how to change my life and to help other people change their lives. And now my life is filled with purpose. I love the results that I see when my clients do the work and they change their lives. It means so much to me. Although I'm not doing the work, I'm not changing them. My clients are doing the work and bringing into their experience the purpose, the goal. They're making their visions come true. They've decided what they want. They're going after it and making it happen. And sometimes it looks impossible. Sometimes it looks like a miracle, but and sometimes there is a lot of chaos and hard work, but the life becomes the vision. When you stay in the practice, when you do the work, when you find your purpose is your why, and the vision is the strategy. There are all kinds of consultants who will give you all kinds of strategies and tell you how to do something. But first, you need a vision and a purpose. Because if you just have a goal that is a specific step to get where you want to go, if it's not inspiring, if it's not big enough, if your purpose doesn't match your internal guidance system, you're going to quit when the going gets hard. You must not fear change. And don't live in the past or allow others to destroy your dreams. You must be personally involved with your dream on a daily basis. And if you don't make your dream a priority, it will never become your life. I didn't even know what the calling was in my heart, but when I stopped fighting it and allowed it to manifest in my life, allowed myself to sit quietly and listen to what do I really want? The peace, the calm, the guiding other people to change their life. Then it felt like I wasn't drifting anymore. I wasn't stuck, bored, disconnected, or angry? What do you love? What activities do you really enjoy and you're good at? What talents and skills and abilities do you have? Sometimes as children, we had a big dream to be a teacher or a firefighter or an astronaut or a dancer. And we put away those dreams. We were told they're childish, they're fantasy. There are many people in this world who turn their fantasy into reality. Your purpose is much like an internal guidance system. It directs your actions and thoughts and focuses your thoughts and your actions to create the life that you desire. But not everyone knows their purpose. Maybe you don't even realize, maybe you never considered that you have a purpose at all. But Bob Proctor would say, you do. If you don't know your purpose, you can feel like you're living a hit and run life. You hurry from point to point, trying one thing and then another in an attempt to make your life what you want it to be. But without a purpose to guide you in your efforts, maybe you're spinning your wheels and getting tired. You're not really going anywhere. In Bob Proctor's purpose, vision, and goals, he says, wealthy people do what they love. He said that over and over again because it's true. If you plan to join the ranks of the wealthy, you have to embrace what you love. Are you working just to pay the bills, or do you love what you're doing? As a unique individual, you have specific talents and abilities that no one else has. You also have your own likes and dislikes. As you go through life and try new things, you find that there are some things that you're drawn to and excel at. This begins in childhood when each of us starts to differentiate ourselves from others. Some children are drawn to music, others may have an affinity for art, others may prefer to tell stories, while their classmates may be fascinated by numbers. You were born with a unique set of gifts and talents. They are genetically implanted into your mind, and these talents are discovered as you grow and move through life. Your purpose in life will be drawn from this unique set of gifts and talents. This purpose is the thing that sets you apart and justifies your reason for being. It is something as unique as a fingerprint that only you can discover. Think about it. The exact mix of talent and purpose that defines who you are has never existed in anyone else that has ever lived. New and innovative ideas spring forth from this resource in you. And that's why we're still making new discoveries each and every day. The secret to finding your purpose is to follow your passion. Don't imitate someone else's passion. And don't follow what you were told you had to do or should do. Let go of the shoulds and quit shoulding on yourself. What are you passionate about? Look at the activities that you would do, whether you got paid or not. Think about those times where you're so wrapped up in something that hours flew by almost unnoticed. This is where you look to find your purpose, and you shouldn't have to look hard. The answer will pop into your mind almost immediately. The problem occurs when you immediately discount the ideas because of your old beliefs. One of those old beliefs is a myth that you cannot earn a living doing what you love. If you sit quietly and allow ideas to flow and don't discount or disqualify any ideas that come to mind, make a list. Sit quietly and get into a beautiful energetic vibration. If you had all the time in the world, all the money you needed, you were happy, you were healthy, you were wealthy, what would you love to be, to do, to have? Make a list of every thought that comes to you as you search for those things that you enjoy. Maybe you love to dance, but you feel like you look silly and people are laughing at you. Well, maybe you dance in the living room, crank up the music, get yourself into a better vibration. When you get into a good vibe, that means you're in a higher vibration, and beautiful, fun, loving, purposeful ideas will just flow to you. Another belief or reason that might cause you to squelch a valid idea is already being on track. Bob Proctor writes, you've already got a significant amount of time, money, and energy invested in the direction that you're now going. And you tell yourself, how can I change that? You've already spent the money. You've already worked hours in your study or in your career. How can I change that? If you consider that your current path might not be your true purpose, you realize that it might require a complete change of occupation. This can be very difficult if you've worked hard to get the education and experience required for your current occupation. It can often seem almost wasteful to throw it all away. Think about that for a moment. What does it mean to throw it all away? Does it mean that you'll never again benefit from anything you've learned so far? No, it does not. Does it mean that you'll be worse off than you are right now? No. Does it mean that you're giving up? No, of course not. Does it mean that life will change? Yes. And it's the change that is most frightening. The idea that you might change professions midstream is a major shift in your life's expectations. However, you must view change as just that, a major shift. You're switching courses, but that doesn't mean your education and professional experiences won't benefit you. It also doesn't mean that you'll be destitute or worse off. I ask you, is it better to go to work at something that you love and are passionate about, or stay in a job that you barely tolerate because you feel obligated? When you discover that one idea that sparks the passion within you, you'll never have to worry about dragging yourself out of bed in the morning again. That's what happened to me. I used to hit the snooze over and over and over till I was late for work every day because I didn't want to be there. I wasn't passionate. I was good at it. I devoted a lot of hours. I was loyal, but it wasn't joyful and exhilarating. Bob Proctor says, when you discover your passion, you will leap from under the covers each morning. You will feel the joy and exhilaration of discovering what the day will bring. This new idea will fill you with energy and ambition, much like the excitement one feels in starting a grand new adventure. Only you'll feel it every day. Purpose is the why you're doing what you're doing. It's the basic motivator for your life. As you set out about discovering what your purpose is, it's important to understand that it does not come from the outside. You will only find it within you. It is an innate part of your being. It can only come from within. You can't ask others what your purpose might be. All they can offer is their view of you based on their own beliefs. Just as you can never imitate another person's passion, someone else cannot guess your passion. Some people may even discourage you from chasing your dream because of their own fears or assumptions. I know when I first left my 39-year career and became a Procter Gallagher consultant, my family was going to do an intervention. They thought I was crazy. Why would you leave a good government job with pay and benefits? Because I am passionate about helping other people change their lives, shift their perspective, enjoy more life, enjoy more love, enjoy more of every good. Whatever it is you desire, it can be yours. You can't listen to the voices of the naysayers or look at reality or think logically or realistically. Your passion might seem a huge fantasy, but that's how everything starts. That's how Disney World started. That's how the cell phone came into being. That's why we're able to fly through the air and travel to beautiful exotic places, or to fly across the world to see our loved ones, or to take a picture with your cell phone and send it to someone in another city, in another country, and have a FaceTime conversation at the same time because someone fantasized, what would it be like to be able to do that? And if they allowed their family and friends and realistic, logical ideas to talk them out of it, we would still be riding horses and tilling the fields with oxen and walking everywhere. It was bicycle mechanics who discovered that man can fly. What do you want? A loving marriage? Are you participating as if you have a loving marriage? Are you treating your spouse like the most important thing in your life? Are you chasing your dream, or are you letting it go because of your own fears or assumptions? As you look within at your talents, gifts, abilities, you must set aside any negative thoughts or practical rationales. Those are just fear in disguise. You cannot allow fear and anxiety to mold your future. Now, sitting quietly and visualizing, allowing your central nervous system to quiet down and to think about what you love, to put yourself in a high vibration and spend some time daydreaming. This type of searching has turned lawyers into authors and motivational speakers. It's turned computer programmers into high school teachers. It has turned insurance adjusters into consultants. There are literally millions of people just like you who may be frustrated and bored with their profession and feel stuck. They feel like one spoke on an ever-turning wheel, doing their duty while sacrificing their own dreams and wants. What have you tried before and failed? Every single person that you see or encounter has failed. This includes you, me, and every successful person. It's important to understand that when we fail, it's not our intentions that are at fault. It's our guidance system was off. We're not in harmony with what we were trying, so it just didn't work. It's really tempting to think back to the things that we might have done differently, but this is like running the what ifs in reverse. What if I said this? What if I did that? This replay of the past is a complete waste of time. The past cannot be changed. But if you constantly live in a mindset of coulda, shoulda, woulda, that will adversely affect your future. If you've tried to create wealth before through a particular business or type of investment and it turned out poorly, don't let your mind convince you that all business is bad or that it's not for you. You have to realize that you have the opportunity to try again. And this time, you have your purpose to guide you, to direct you. Don't let others or your past experience convince you to be satisfied with a life that is less than what you want, less than what you deserve. This will require quite a bit of creativity on your part, and many people find this part quite difficult. Most of us rarely exercise our creative thought process. Maybe you were taught in school to conform rather than to be creative. You had to raise your hand to speak. You had to color inside the lines and walk the line. We were taught to search for the right answers rather than to offer creative solutions. We take orders and do what we're told to do or suffer the consequences. That doesn't mean that school is bad. It points out that we've become habitual doing what everyone else is doing, and that's been planted in our mind. Most people are habitually doing what is expected to maintain the status quo. It takes real effort to change or to break free from this life, even if you're miserable. The training planted the seed for the attitude of average. It's not terrible. It's just that you're living in the vast gray in the middle. Maybe you've spent decades thinking that you weren't very special. That's what Bob Proctor used to say. Nothing around him seemed much different from what others had. And people repeatedly told him that he should accept his limitations and conform to what everyone else was doing. It was years before he realized that he had something no one else had. Special talents and a unique way of looking at the world. And so do you. As you focus on your unique gifts, you will come to realize how complex, how unique, how spectacular you are. All of your specific and unique gifts come together to create a one-of-a-kind masterpiece called you. When you find your purpose, and you will, it is important to understand that that is not the time to get input from other people. Your purpose is just the direction. It is still a small seed that can be destroyed by other people's opinions of what you should do with it. If you tell someone your beautiful idea of what you desire, and they say, that's crazy, put away your fantasies and look at reality, you might just give up on what it is and say, well, it was just an idea. If you do that, if you try and fit into what society thinks is meant for you, you'll just get more and more depressed. Don't let anyone steal your dream. What do you dream about? What do you fantasize about? Give yourself permission to even allow your mind to go there, to daydream, to fantasize, to ask your inner guidance system, what do I really, really want? What does true love, peace in your heart, in your family, in your community, enough wealth to do what you want to do when you want to do it? What are you talking yourself out of? What would you love? What is your dream? Don't give it up. Get excited, get exhilarated by the idea. What is your purpose? I know that you can do it. When you have a beautiful vision in your mind, you wouldn't have it unless it was meant for you. You can do this. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. It doesn't matter what anyone else's opinion is. When you are not on purpose, everything is off course. You're rowing your dinghy in the middle of the ocean with no idea where land is. Once you have the right purpose, you'll easily develop the right vision, and then you'll recognize the specific goals that will get you what you desire. Once you've found your purpose, you express it by creating and maintaining a vision. Vision is what you do with your life. Vision is the strategy behind the fulfillment of your purpose. Take some time to write out, do you have a purpose? Do you have a vision? Do you have a specific goal? If you were looking, if you had already died, what would you want people to say about you? Sometimes it works to write out your own eulogy. What would you love people to say about you? How did you leave people feeling better off? Did you live your life? Did you make a difference? What do you love? Do what you love, and you'll never feel depressed and anxious again. Write about it, think about it, and go out and do something this weekend that your future self will thank you for. It's not about dreaming and hoping and wishing. You must act as if you already have the goal. You already are the person that has achieved success. You are a child of God, a unique spirit in a physical body that will allow you to do that beautiful dream. Make it big, make it bold, make it real. and don't listen to the naysayers. Create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Think about what you love and go and do it. And I'll see you back here Monday morning at 7. Thank you.